Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our Why Wessuc webinar. We're going to be talking about pipe inspection and repair today. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. My name is Bill Buist, and I'm the Director of Sales at Wessuc. As passionate stewards of our world, Wessuc champions healthy soils and clean water, which is a fancy way of saying we care about the world in which we live and play. So today joining me on the webinar is Tyler Loveday. He's the project manager for infrastructure, as well as Shauka Dykstra. He is our Southern Regional Sales Manager. He also has a lot of experience with the topic from today. We also have our marketing team in the background to make us look good today, and they will handle any technical difficulties. If you are having technical difficulties, we have a Q&A button on the top left hand of your screen. Just type your questions in there and they will be ready to assist you if you have any other questions at all. So before I pass things on to Tyler and Shauka, our speakers, a few housekeeping notes. You, the audience, are in listen-only mode, meaning you're on mute. You can unmute yourself and start talking, unfortunately. If you do have comments, questions, even if you want to insult us, we don't care. We welcome it. But just you can write them right in the questions tab on the top left-hand corner. You can click on that and put any comments that you want in there. That's fine. And at the end, we will have a question and answer session where you have a chance to engage with us. Also, following today's webinar, you'll receive a follow-up email. So if you have to leave, don't worry about it. Or if you get cut off on your internet, don't worry, we'll keep you posted. So we do have an icebreaker poll question. And a question should pop up on your screen. And if you like, you can answer it. While that's happening, while you're answering the poll question, I don't know what it is, but what I do want to say is we do a number of services here at Wessuc, and I can tell you that our operations team, meaning the guys that go out and do the work, actually, they love doing this work. I went to look at a job in Paris, Ontario, a couple of weeks ago, and the comments I got from the men doing the work was how much they enjoyed it, right? The one guy hadn't done it in a while. He said this was the best day of his life in Wessuc was that he was back doing spot repair. So that's kind of cool to hear that impact that every one of us on the call can have for our workers. So we do appreciate that. Okay, so here we have our agenda. We have a simple agenda. We'll introduce ourselves for those who don't know us. We will talk about who is Wessuc. We'll talk about why you would do pipe inspection and why you would repair your pipes underground. We'll talk about grouting, and we'll talk about spot repair. So a little bit about us. We are a 21-year-old company, 21 and a bit, 21 and a half, I guess, as the kids would say. So this company, we have over 20 years of experience, and really a lot of the family behind the company, this is all they've done all their life. So this is what they love to do. So we are privately owned and operated. We're a fully Canadian company, approximately 115, 120 employees. And really, we focus on environmental benefits. So we consider ourselves a sustainable environmental company. Our statement really is, as passionate stewards of our world, we champion healthy soils and clean water. And that really is something that we live every day. We have 4 core principles as a company, and it's really felt by the employees. That's respect for one another and our customers, responsibility as stewards of the earth, and joy, that we should have a good experience when we're working, and others should feel that as well. And also a healthy work-life balance. And going right along with all of that, really for us, safety is very important. We work in a hands-on business where there's moving parts. We get into confined spaces. We work around moving hoses and powerful equipment. So safety is very important to us. Wessuc and all of the staff are certified under Certificate of Recognition, or CORE, and also Infrastructure Health and Safety Association. And that's something that's important to us as well. So enough about me. I'm going to turn this over to our speakers. That's Tyler and Shauka, and they're going to talk about our specific services.
Good afternoon. As Bill mentioned, my name is Tyler, the project manager here at Wessuc for the infrastructure division. So we do in the day-to-day operations, CCTV, flushing, grouting, spa repair, and many other services, which we'll get into later on. We'll first start off at why pipe inspection and repair. So as most of you are aware, CCTV is the collecting of the data of the sewer system. This data ensures the sewer system is running efficiently, pinpoints areas of concern, any structural defects or operational maintenance defects. It also identifies areas where drainage issues can occur and prevent backup issues in future. CCTV also produces more in-depth reports compared to zoom camera inspections or acoustic technology. Much more detailed full inspection reports provided at the end of the inspections. Grouting and spot repair, the trenchless no dig repairs. Sorry, Mel, if you can just go back to the last slide. Yeah, awesome, thank you. So grouting spot repair, why this is done, this prevents pipe failure. This prevents backups and environmental issues. Stop treating unwanted groundwater at pump stations or treatment facilities. Increase life expectancy of your pipes. And as well, spot repairs and grouting is a way of repairing pipes without digging up roads and infrastructure and creating the backlogs above ground.
Okay, it is good. So as a short introduction, Bill said I have lots of experience. I am 23, but I did start at Wessuc in the Grouting or in the spot repair, CCTV, and flushing division. So that's where he's getting that from. Anyways, so the one big question when we're talking about what is grouting is the cost to treat unwanted groundwater infiltration coming into the line. That's the problem we're trying to solve by completing that. So if you imagine you left the tap on in your house and it was dripping or running all day long, every day, the amount of volume that you would accumulate at the end of the year is massive. And all that water given, over the entire sewer system, it accumulates to quite a bit at the end of the year that all has to be treated, pumped, etc. And it's just an extra burden on top of the regular flow that's coming through the sewer pipes. So that's why we're excited about grouting, at least. So what is grouting? So it's basically a chemical sealant. It's repairing mostly O&M defects. And again, like I said, it stops leaks and it stops infiltration. And now if you imagine that the water is coming in through a crack or a joint in the pipe, it's bringing with it the sediment that sits outside the line. So even in some very small forms, it's letting all sorts of soil erode from around the pipe and behind it. and that's all washing down into the sewer. But what ends up happening is there's a void created behind the pipe or underneath the pipe, and that's where you'll see a lot of sags that will lead eventually to fractures and cracks as well in the pipe. So basically the grout is used to fill that void, cure the infiltration from coming in, and to a degree regain structural integrity of that pipe. So now we can do laterals as well. So it's not just mainline, it's laterals as well. Smaller scale, obviously, for a lateral, but laterals as well we can grout. Can we move to the process there, Mel? Okay, so here's a nice demonstration of essentially what the process would look like. So first off, cctv is completed, or if, for instance, a client or somebody else has had the cctv completed prior, we'd love to get a look at that video, take a look at what infiltration we're dealing with, whether it's a runner, a dripper, all that jazz, and then we prep the line. And by prep the line, we're talking about cutting or reaming away any of the incrustation or calcite that's formed over time. And as many of you may know, but for those that don't, incrustation is formed when water leaking from the ground comes into the sewer pipe and then hardens because of the minerals that are in the water. They calcify with air. So that's where you'll get a big bubble or a big bump of essentially rock. Think of a stalagmite inside the sewer pipe, which causes restrictions to flow. So we have equipment that will go in, that will remove that calcite. It'll be a nice, centered pipe, circular pipe again. And once that line is prepped, we'll probably give it a flush. And after that, we pull in the packer system. We pull it into place, and then we inflate it and inject this chemical sealant into the crack and into the void. And basically it fills it and fills it and fills it. We've got a big reservoir in the truck, and it'll pump to a certain pressure. And once that pressure is achieved, we know that the void has been filled, the job is complete. And then we basically pull our system out, and it'll continue to cure essentially, until it's rock solid. And again, like I said, that stops the infiltration from coming in. And then what we'll do at the back end of the program is we'll run the camera through the line again, just to take a look at the where we've grouted, make sure, again, just confirm to whoever we're working for, whether it be private or municipal, that the area, the problem's been solved, and you guys get that confirmation. If you so desire to get the grouting, get that confirmation that we have done our job effectively. There we go.
Okay, what is a spot repair? So spot repair is essentially, it's a patch in your pipe. The spot repair is a trenchless rehabilitation that eliminates the need for pipe replacement, or dig and replace, dig and cut. Spot repair is an effective way to deal with defects in aging infrastructure. The spot repair will actually repair fractures, breaks, cracks, holes, and actually this will help prevent future defects from growing bigger, or less cause of backups as well. Our method, so here at Wessuc, we have a UV light cured in place system. For any repairs from 200 millimeters to 600 millimeters, main lines, storm, sanitary, culverts, all which can be completed. The glass fiber laminate is a factory impregnated with UV light initiated polyester resin that's shipped ready for use. So all the lining material comes with engineered drawings, engineered tests, paperwork to go along with it that can be provided upon request when repairs are being completed. Repairs areas such as longitudinal cracks, missing pieces of broken pipe, minor offset joints, taps that have been they haven't been installed properly. Spot repairs are able to help repair this. Spot repairs will also stop root intrusion while adding structural strength to pipeline. The method is also, it's a cure time of 5 to 10 minutes. So unlike the ambient ambient repairs, which take 5 to 6 hours to repair. UV is a cure time of 5 to 10 minutes, which means in and out of the pipe a lot quicker. So next, I think there will be a quick video just of the UV light turning on to cure repair. The spot repair process, much like the grouting process, all spot repairs it's initially started with CCTV inspection. CCTV inspection, all data is collected, and that's where, based off of NASCO standards, all defects are coded. If the videos are completed by Wessuc, with our programs, we actually do have the capabilities of creating reports that highlight areas of concern for both spot repair and grouting. So after the initial CCTV work is completed, any prep work is done. So any cutting, reaming, etc., to get through to the repair or to clean up the repair area, whether it be broken pipe or incrustation that requires reaming, this is completed at that time. A pre-inspection for repair. So this inspection will show and highlight the area that's about to be repaired, show that it's all cleaned and there's no, it's clean, ready to be repaired. And then essentially the spot repair. So when the spot repair is done, we would have 2 trucks on site. There's a spot repair truck and a CCTV truck. The CCTV truck helps pull the repair into place. All this is done on video feed to ensure accuracy and lining up the repair over the defect. Once the packer is pulled into place, the bag is inflated, which inflates the repair against the pipe. Lights are turned on. Over the course of 10 minutes, the repair is cured in place. After this, the packer is removed and a final inspection is completed, where the final inspection shows that the repair has covered the area of concern. There's no the seal on the ends, and throughout the repair is sealed to the pipe, and there's no flaps or bulges that will create further backups. Next is a video actually of a job recently completed by the Wessuc team. If for any reason the video doesn't show, there'll be a link in the chat.
Cut it and they wrap it around the back. Five tone. So that pipe that you realize it takes 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, so the video came through a little choppy on my end, so if it did for yours as well, I think there's some, like I said, it's attached in the chat, so you can watch and it'll probably relay a little better. But moving on to the next part, which is CCTV. So kind of what is it, and then when is it needed, who can use it, how does it benefit me, and what are some of the requirements? So CCTV is basically when you're running a camera, or for this instance, we're talking about running a camera, a small remote control camera through a sewer line to basically inspect for different types of defects and whatnot, to get a good sense of what is in the pipe, or any of the problems that might arise. So that, I guess that kind of moves on to the second point, which is when is it needed? So sometimes we find CCTV for a lot of the municipalities is government regulated. For instance, they want to make sure that they essentially own an asset, and they want to make sure that asset is being regularly cleaned or monitored, and just stay up to date on what's going on with that asset underground that's out of sight but not out of mind. And then who can use this service? We've done a lot of our work historically for municipalities from all the way from Sarnia up to Manitoba, and everywhere in between. But we also complete a lot of work for different general contractors, whether it be in the construction industry or on different private properties where you've got a lot of storm drain systems and different types of factories or manufacturing. They also want to take care of their pipes and make sure that everything looks good on a regular basis. So we also service those clients as well. And how does it benefit you in this instance? It gives you a good idea of what condition your pipes are in. It gives you an idea if there is going to be any problems, like what they are. And then essentially the video footage, you can store it. So if we were to complete some CCTV for you guys, we'd give you the file, you'd be able to keep it and reference that back at any point. And if you so decided that, hey, let's move ahead with either the grout or the spot repair, you're able to keep a really accessible record of that. So some of the requirements, basically we would, plan in place, we'd come flush the line, video the line, whatever the client is really looking for. And then we would need some maps, or typically we like to have maps where we're referencing, hey, what are we actually videoing? Is there any type of identification or upstream manhole, downstream manhole, or line ID that we can reference on a job record so we can show the client exactly what we've done? And then optimally, if there's a GIS system, that always helps with storing information and easy access as well. So I think the next one is going to be the CCTV equipment. So we've got a range of equipment here. You can see kind of in the background of the actual robots, someone's holding what looks like an Xbox controller. It basically is. It's more or less playing a video game. So, and you got to get paid for it. It's great. But we've got different robots that do from a 6-inch or a 200 millimeter pipe all the way up to a 48-inch pipe. So, and that'd be the Mud Master there that you see with I guess it'd be 8 tires on it each way. So the Deep Trekker, what's neat about that one is that it's fully, I guess, portable. It basically comes in 2 suitcases and it's all electric, so you can move it wherever you need to. We've done work in forest and fields and all sorts of hard to access points that you cannot get a truck into. And then obviously the Q's, your regular main line. Mud Master is for very big pipe. Yeah, so it's a heavy unit, but yeah, we can do very large pipe, and it's very long. It's got a very long tether on it as well. I think it's upwards of 1 kilometer long. Tyler, you want to nod your head? Tyler's nodding. Okay, cool. There we go. Push cams, smaller stuff, and then finally the cutter. That's kind of the specialty robot that we go in and remove the whether it be calcite or roots. There's a whole lot of different applications that we can use for that one, as well as grease and just nasty stuff that ends up getting clogged up and caught in the pipe. Which brings us to our next slide, which is what is cutting and reaming. So like I've kind of talked about, it's the removal of intrusions in the pipe to prevent any type of backup. So unfortunately, there's lots of things that go into the sewer that are not supposed to be there, whether it be rags or whether it be grease coming in from different types of restaurants. We see a lot of, they end up building up and clogging up in the pipe. And what that has led to, unfortunately, quite a few times has been sewer backups. It eventually works its way into people's floor drains in their basements and stuff because the sewer is getting backed up and clogged and whatnot. So The purpose of cutting and reaming is to remove those roots, to remove the calcite, and to remove even concrete or grout that's been poured. Sorry, not grout. It's like, yeah, if you were to pour concrete down the sewer and it hardens on the bottom, the cutting robot can actually go inside and remove that to basically stop whatever's backing up the sewer. It can get rid of that. And it kind of works in tandem with the flusher unit as well. And the cutting truck has a camera and the cutter on it all at the same time. So we're able to do the inspection, to remove the calcite and debris, and then also do a video afterwards to show the problem's been alleviated. So that's kind of, that's actually the unit that I ended up running for, I think it was close to 2 years. So spent a lot of time with it and had a lot of fun with it. So one thing that you guys might be thinking is, yeah, well, you'll see in this video shortly, that bit spins incredibly quickly. You don't have to worry about cutting through the pipe. It's got a really good camera on it. The controls are extremely easy to use. So it's very simple to just kind of make sure you're never going to be cutting through even a PVC, a plastic pipe. I think it spins at roughly 12,500 rotations per minute, and it's air driven. So the air compressor is up top, and then all the cables come down with the camera or the cutter, and that's where it's able to cut all that stuff off. It's a lot of fun to play with, actually. It's quite a good time. And there's that video there.
So just some past experiences, our usual day-to-day work consists of regular CCTV flushing, which Shoka actually just talked about. Some of our previous experience with the reaming, cutting, spot repairs, grouts, that just want to highlight a few of them. Toronto Survey abandoned contract. So over 600 lines ranging from 200 to 1200 millimeters, which were survey abandoned or MSA lines from previous contractors. The idea of this contract was to get from manhole A to manhole B, whether it required cutting, reaming, heavy flushing. This contract lasted over 1.5 years, where we had crews out every day performing these tasks. Peel spot repair. So this was over 500 repairs of spot repairs, top hats, and grouts. All prep work was completed as well. So any reaming, cutting, flushing, this was over a duration of 1.5 years. And then just there's some other miscellaneous jobs, Brant, Angus, Tay Township, where just miscellaneous grouting projects ranging from sizes 200 to 600, mainline laterals, spot repairs. All of the work was completed there as well. In the last slide, so just to highlight some of our availability over the next couple months, fairly busy, but yeah, just want to say, if there's any projects or jobs that you guys are looking to discuss, feel free to reach out and we'd be open to discussing them.
Yeah, Bill, this is you. There you go. Right on.
Okay. Thank you, Tyler and Shoka. Before we move on to questions, we'd like to highlight some of our partnerships, a lot of names that you would recognize there. We work very closely with, and that we've done a lot of large jobs with. So some of those are municipalities, third parties such as Aqua, which is a Ontario government agency, municipalities. Also, we've worked with places like Lambton College as one example, as doing studies for us. So we are open to, if some of you have projects where you'd like to study something or other, we can work with you on that as well. Let's go ahead to the questions. So actually go back one. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Yeah, so what's next for us? We're highlighting grouting and spot repair because that's something that we are looking to grow. We've recently bought a lot of new equipment and had a lot of staff trained, and they're not busy enough. So we've got all the equipment, and Where CCTV work, we're always busy. We're really looking to grow with you on grouting and spot repair. Next week, if you would like to go to a show, we're going to be next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, December 1st through 3rd. We'll be at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. That's right beside Ripley's Aquarium. For visitors and tourists, you can look for us there at booth 622. So we'd like to take a few minutes to ask questions. Remember, you can type them in the Q&A panel on the left-hand side of the screen, and we'll be happy to answer those. One question would be for Tyler and Shelka would be, what size of pipe can we get into?
So the equipment can be, there's equipment for all sizes of pipes. Here at Wessuc, we have up to 600 millimeter diameter for repairs, but we are always open to looking at other equipment as well. I see two other questions here. I'll go ahead and answer them, Bill. You repair PVC pipe as well? Yes. Spot repairs.
Maybe we could, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So
I'll read the question. Do you repair PVC pipe as well? Sorry to repeat you over you there, Tyler, from Larry.
So yeah, grouting and spot repairs can be completed in all types of pipes. Clay, asbestos cement, PVC, any type of pipes, the repairs can be completed in.
Yeah, and then we have a question from Jeff. What type of repair would you recommend where there's an infiltration at the point where the pipe meets the manhole?
This would be case by case, but most likely this would be more of a grout repair. There's grouting can be done with manhole infiltration as well. It's a different technique with a little bit of drilling and injecting the grout by a gun, but that is usually the best way to stop infiltration in a manhole.
And we've got a question from Scott. Is there a root inhibitor additive for the chemical grouting process?
There's many additives to add in to the grout, which makes it more apt for roots or cold weather or warm weather. So there's many options that can be discussed or looked into with our grout manufacturers.
Okay, and question for Shelka. How can we get a quote?
Well, I think my contact information is attached somewhere, but what that would look like would be, if you give us a call, you have some documentation around what problem you're looking to solve, and even if you just present the problem, then we can kind of dissect it and break it down with you, and then we go through that process, make sure all the information is agreed upon and we're both on the same page. And then we'd essentially just, work on our end with our operations team, me and Tyler, to put together a number as to what we could do the repair for, and then we'd send it off as an estimate for client review. Open the discussion back and forth, and then that's how you get the quote. And then moving it forward would be more on Tyler's end of things to schedule timelines that work, as well as availability on our end with crews and everything like that.
Thank you, Shelka. We also have another question from John. Are you able to ream service laterals from the main?
Yeah, so if it's a protruding lateral into the main, this can be reamed or cut. If we're looking to actually ream inside of the lateral from the main line, the first few inches are able to be reached from the main line with a cutter. Other than that, the technology on the cutter, like you can't go further up a lateral, say a few meters, and ream the lateral out of any incrustation or roots.
Thank you. Another question is how do we set up a meeting with Wessuc for additional discussions? So Shauk answered how about a quote, but if you'd like to talk to any of us, you'll see on the left-hand panel, if you click on that, you can get the contact of any of our regional sales managers. Also, if you just remember that our website is wessuc.com, you can go on the contact area and you'll see all of the sales contacts there, our names and phone numbers as well. If there's no other questions, and that looks like it for questions, if you do have a concern or another question that comes up later on, remember that you can always contact us there with that contact information. We're always open to answer questions, and honestly, what comes up for us daily is usually different than we've experienced before. Really, it's a whole underground of utilities that we get involved with. Lastly, I'd like to say thank you again. We really appreciate all of you. It's quite a few, a very good turnout today. We want to really thank you for that and for watching our webinar. We really do appreciate it. We know you all have very busy schedules, and we will be sending out a post-webinar seminar, and we'd really appreciate it. It's really helpful for us for future webinars also that we get good feedback. So if you could participate in that, it doesn't take much time. It'll pop up. Basically, it will pop up when you close the screen. And you also all get a follow-up email with today's recording if you'd like to look back or refer back to it or share it with a colleague. And again, thank you to Tyler and Shauka, as well as the marketing team for building the presentation and really doing all the background work. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to hearing from you and engaging with you all in the future. So stay safe and have a lot of fun out there. All the best.